information. LB Global Solutions. Ask why. Welcome to LB Global Solutions online business program Ask Why. Let us help you discover the untold secrets of building generational wealth.
Today is our Ask Why program, and we begin by stating our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, but our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So today, the Ask Why program, I hope you all are excited as I am excited, because today we are bringing back our guest, Kevin Thompson. And I'm saying to you, this is one of the programs that you gotta be paying very close attention. I hope you have your pen and your paper to write down notes, because when Kevin starts, oh boy, it's gonna be fun, right? So my co-host is here with me, Chrissy Landa Maloney. Hi, Chrissy.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am so excited for today's show, and I hope you all are excited as well. I mean, the topic is so relevant today, given this pandemic. Wanting to increase our productivity should be to the top of all our minds. And our guest speaker today is all fired up to discuss this topic with us. So as Lashley said, get out your pens and your paper and take some notes. Also, guys, feel free to join in the discussion, or you can type comments or ask any questions that you may have in the chat. Those of you who are viewing on YouTube, you can also send in your questions and your comments as well in the comment section. So back to you, Lashley.
Yes, thank you very much, Chrissy. As we begin this program, let's really and truly have some fun. So what is the Ask Why program, you may be asking? Ask Why is here to help you get your questions answered. You may have a lot of why questions, and why stands for why. The W stands for what, the H for how, and the Y is for why, right? These three elements of the word why can get you anything you want in life. And we also put the word ask with it. So ask why. As you know, in the good book, it says ask, seek, and knock. So if you take the first letter of each word, the A for the ask, S for the seek, K for the knock, and then you put it against the why, W for what, H for how, Y for why, it is that you get that ask why. And if you use those codes, I'm telling you, today, if you start using those codes, it is that you will be moving from good to great. So let's begin. Kevin, are you ready?
I guess so.
You guess so.
When I listened to the introductions that both you and Chrissy were giving, I was wondering if we had another guest speaker on board today. You know, it didn't sound like me.
So Kevin is a very certified trainer. He's an author. He's also a consultant. And Kevin Thompson is the founder of the Thompson Research Institute and principal therapist at the Sacra Therapy Clinic. Now, don't mind what he just said. He is very competent in handling this topic today. The topic, as we all know, 10 times your productivity, cannot be a better topic for this time, because a lot of people are hurting, a lot of people are stressed out, feeling the pinch with all that is going on, and we need to help individuals increase their productivity so that they can come out smiling, they can come out on top. And Kevin is the one to really help us here, right? So Kevin, a lot is on your shoulder, but I know you can handle it. Okay, so what else, Kevin?
I'm saying at this point, I really don't have a choice, do I?
Not at all. There's no backing out here, right? So feel free, everyone, as we see individuals coming on, wherever you're on the World Wide Web, we're on YouTube, we're on Zoom. We have individuals who are coming on. If you have any questions, feel free. You can either unmute yourself and ask your question, or it is that if you don't feel to do that, you can put it in the chat, but please feel free to ask your questions, because that's what the Ask Why program is geared to do. Help you get the answers that you have in your mind that you want answers to. So Kevin, let's begin. All right. So Kevin, what does it really mean to 10 times your productivity?
Well, Ashley, to 10 times your productivity simply means to get 10 times the amount of things you currently do. It's the ability to get 10 times that done. What we find is that, as both you and Chrissy would have shared earlier, this is the pandemic times. These are the COVID seasons where people are misguided, where people have been derailed, where people just don't have the normal guidance systems that would lead them to success or lead them to their achievement in the way that we had pre-COVID. So now, as we are looking at what we are facing on a different platform, you find that we now need different tactics in order to get the same things done, as well as to increase that as well, 10 times of whatever we would have done before. So as I begin, I just want to say, as you would have shared, Lashley, there are no stupid questions here. Feel free to ask anything, whatever comes to mind at any point in time, feel free to ask it. Now, I am about to start, and I'm starting in a very strange place that most people would not consider that this is something that I need to do in order to improve my productivity. And here we go. I have a list of about 10 things here to talk about today. I'm not sure if we're going to get through the 10 things, but I'm going to start somewhere and we will stop wherever we need to. And then if we have a follow-up program, we can continue. Is that okay, Lashley?
That's very fine.
Okay. Number one on my list is a simple thing, and that is to have a strong emotional attachment to what it is that you want or what it is you're trying to achieve. Many times when people are on their day in, day out basis trying to achieve their goals, they lose sight of what it is they are trying to achieve. A month would have passed, they started on this journey, they started their job, they started their careers, they have been there at this office for a number of years, they have been doing the same work for a number of years, they started a business, and they have activities that they need to do on a daily basis. And for some reason, they are not getting the things that they need to do done in the way that they need to get it done. And one of the key reasons for that is this: the actual reason or the actual purpose for which they started this journey, they forgot about it. They are no longer touching base with it on a day in, day out basis. Many times people start, for instance, people start a business because somebody pissed them off at the job. And they told themselves, you know what? I don't need to be here. I'm going to leave this job and I'm going to start my own business. So they leave the job and they start their own business. And as they go on from day to day doing the different tasks that they have to do every single day to get this business going, they lose touch with the purpose for why it is they started this business in the first place. So that when they now have to do the actual tasks, they struggle in doing it because the motivation is not there. The drive is not there. That push that they would normally get, that to get them to do the things to start the business in the first place, all of that isn't there. Simply because they lost touch with that driving force that put them on that journey in the first place. So what I'm saying, Ashley, and everyone who's listening, is simply this. If you started this job that you're in now, or you started this career or a business, whatever it is you're doing, and it is someone who would have angered you before that made you start this, periodically go back to them and get angry. Restart an argument so it stays fresh in your mind, so that you can be in that place whereby you are always clear on why it is you're doing. Now, this may sound, now that's a joke I was making, guys. But on the serious note, if it is that you started a career, started a business, let's say to be able to provide greater income for your kids, then you need to be able to go into your children's school and to be able to talk with the teachers, understand where your kids are at, recognize that this is the purpose for which you are doing this job, you're doing this business, reconnect with those needs, those relevant motivational factors and drives to push you forward, to keep you going to do the things that you need to do. If it is, for instance, you decided that you wanted to do these activities simply because you wanted to get a new car, you wanted to get a new home, you wanted to be able to set up a new business, whatever the reasons you have for doing what you do, you need to reconnect to those reasons. In other words, you want to get a new car, go back to the showroom and take a look at the car that you wanted to buy. Get a test drive. If it is, it's going to take you 6 months to be able to purchase this car with the tasks that you're doing every day. Then what I would advise you to do is at least have a test drive every 3 months so that it stays fresh in your mind. If it is that you started a new career or a new business to be able to get a new home, and you realize that this work that you need to put in on a day out basis is going to take you a year, it's going to take you 2 years, get in touch with real estate agents and periodically go looking at homes in the price bracket you'll be looking at working at, so that the experience of actually going, seeing the homes, touching it, feeling the furniture, seeing the walls, the paints, the architecture, seeing your dog running around the yard, seeing a pool in the background, seeing yourself swimming in the pool, or even just sleeping and walking around in your home drinking a cup of coffee. Whatever it may do, these are the things that you need to immerse yourself in periodically to stay connected to your goals. Whatever it is, do the activity that keeps you connected.
No.
So go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting point you made there, right? And I just want to go to something just came to my mind as you started to flesh it out. So somebody has a family, the wife, husband, 2 children. How do they reconnect with that? Because I mean to say they are there in the family, every day they're seeing the children, every day they're seeing their wife or the husband. How does reconnection comes into play in that case?
Well, for instance, if you have your family, you have your wife and children. In other words, what you're basically saying is that your family is your driving force for why it is you're doing what you're doing. But the question you have to ask is, what about the family that is making you choose this journey? Is it that you're in a home that is not satisfying the needs of the family? In other words, your wife might want a bigger kitchen. All right? She might want a bigger kitchen to be able to function. Your children may want an environment or to raise your children in a neighborhood whereby they can ride their bicycles, they can go to a park, they can feel safe. All these different things, even though it pertains to the family. What I'm saying is that when you identify what are the exact needs that you would like to provide for your family, you have to reconnect with those needs, not just by looking at the family every day, but actually taking the family out with you and looking at better options for the family together, so that they understand your goal, they understand the drive, they understand the purpose for which you are now pursuing this new direction that you're going in. And in doing that, you get their support, but it also conditions you as the individual to push forward and to go. In fact, the interesting thing is this: if you are emotionally attached to the things that you want to achieve, the things that you want to go for, once you are emotionally attached to those things, you don't have to push every day. It pulls you forward. You get up every day motivated to do it, to go for it, to just get one step closer to that prize, one step closer to the outcome that you're looking for. And so this is why I'm saying, I hope I'm answering your question in this, Ashley.
Yes. Okay. I say just to give a feel for individuals who might be asking themselves, well, what kind of experiences based on your career path, right? Based on your expertise, what kind of experiences that you have had to deal with, maybe for your own self, towards where you were, you weren't happy with where you were, or you know somebody who was in a really, really bad situation and they work themselves out of it so that they are now producing 10 times. So either for yourself or about some situation without going in major details, right?
Okay.
Can you give that kind of scenario?
All right. Excellent question. I'm going to talk briefly about just what I have done in my career with individuals, and I'll speak about myself personally as well. Many times when people in the past would have come to our programs and they would be very passionate about what they're doing. You ask people what they're doing, they give you the full elevator speech in terms of who they are, what they're doing, what they're into, how many years they have been there. And then I would ask the magic question and say, why are you doing this? And then they would stop. There would be just this blank stares, like a deer in the headlights. They would just stop and stare at you and they're lost because that is not something that's on the forefront of their mind. Over the years of doing what they have doing, they lost touch with why it is they started this journey, what they're doing, and they are lost on that. And we realize that many times when we get people to get back to why it is they were doing what they were doing, things started to flow much faster. There was a greater sense of purpose, and there was greater productivity as well, because now there's more meaning in what each day means to them. With myself as an individual, I remembered, let me see which point in my life I can pull from. Let me say now, over the last 15 years, I had a dream to be successful, to be highly successful over the last, at least 15 years ago, I should say, to be highly successful. And I pushed and I pushed, I studied, I got certified, I have been in and out of the country, I have done training, I launched events, I registered my business, I did just about everything that someone could want to do to be successful. And when other people looked at me and what I achieved, they said, wow, Kevin, you are a success. But right after that, everything died. I just couldn't function. I couldn't get things done. As if when I had projects to do and I had clients to meet, for some reason, I just won't get there on time. I would waste a lot of time at home. I would procrastinate. I would delay things. I would put off things. I would self-sabotage certain meetings. And I stopped and asked myself, Kevin, why are you doing this? And one of the days when I was just relaxing at home, I asked myself, Kevin, why are you doing this now? And I remembered when I looked at the reason why I started the business, I achieved that goal. In other words, I proved the point that, okay, yes, you can be this, you can achieve this, you can do this. I proved that point. But the thing is, I already satisfied that goal. That goal has already been achieved. But now that the business is now taking off to a new era, into a new frontier, I didn't set any new goals for myself. And the old goals that I had that started the whole journey, those old goals were no longer relevant to where I was at that point in time. So I needed to get back to me and ask myself, okay, Kevin, you've been here, you've done this. What next is on your agenda? What do you want to do again? What do you want to achieve personally now for you, where this business is concerned? And just as I said before, going out to looking for a new home, going out to looking for a new car, and other things that I would have wanted in life, one of the great things I would like to do is to be able to fly a jet plane. And that's the single jet planes. That's a big thing for me to do in my retirement. And I am on course to getting that done right now. But I had to go back and reconnect to what it is drives me at this stage of my life. Because the old goals, the old dreams, the old aspirations that I had before no longer fit where I was currently. All right, so that's just an example.
So then individuals who don't have a goal, is it that every individual who don't have a goal are lost?
Yes. There's not too much more to say on this. It's just simply yes. Here's why you must have a goal. And it's not just a goal, Ashley. It's a goal that you have a solid emotional connection to. All right. On the road to success, I want to get into, let me go into this point and you'll understand what I mean to answer this question, right? In terms of everyone must have a goal. My second point that you must have in order to double or clarity. Sorry, I was just getting some feedback there. Sorry about
Small had the person Small had any question wanted to ask, or just the
I think he logged that out. He probably will try to get back.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
All right.
Kevin.
All right, go ahead. I'll go ahead. What the second thing I would recommend that people do is visualize. Now, we hear it all over the world. Everyone is saying you need to visualize your goals. You need to visualize yourself being successful. You need to visualize yourself accomplishing your goals in a meaningful way, receiving your awards and all the accolades and so forth. That is something that you need to do. Many people do that, and that is fine. But here's the challenge. On the road to success, many people don't recognize or acknowledge that the little tasks, the little menial, nagging, unrewarding daily tasks that you have to do in order to be successful in the long term, most people are not prepared to do that. Most people are not passionate about doing those little tasks that comes with success. And what you find happening is that when they visualize themselves being successful, the image that they have of themselves being successful, jumping into their new car, their new house, providing for their children, their families, their retirement, receiving all the awards, all those things, that version of themselves that they see, that image, that picture, that movie of themselves that they see is not congruent with the image of themselves that is actually doing the menial, nagging, unrewarding daily tasks. So when they come to every single day to be productive, to sit at their desk, to do what they need to do, the brain says to itself, this is not you. That image that you had of yourself, that is you. And the brain begins to self-sabotage that process. You see, when you visualize something or you start to think a lot about something, there's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system that pays attention to what it is you are looking at. That part of the brain then says to you, this is what's relevant to you. And everywhere you look, everywhere you go, anything that reflects that image of relevance, your brain tunes into it and draws your attention to it. This in itself solidifies that identity of yourself. It's not just the house. Let's suppose it's a house you were looking at. It's not just the house. The brain tells you, this is the kind of dog that will match that house. This is the kind of car that needs to be in that house. This is the kind of family that you need to have to match that house. This is the kind of look, this is the kind of career. These are the places you need to go. These are the kind of friends that you need to invite if you're having this kind of house. The brain locks into all these things and creates an association of an identity for you. If it is, you do not, as I said before, if it is, you do not associate the tasks that you have to do to achieve that goal, then when you actually sit to do the work, the brain makes the two images are incongruent. The brain gets confused. This does not match with this. And as a result, many people have challenges achieving what they need to achieve daily in the daily task in getting their success. Now, a simple way, sure.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing, because really and truly, if it is that you have a goal, you might just see the house itself. But what you are saying is that you need to see more than just the house. You have to see the little gritty things that you have to do in order to accomplish getting that house.
Yes.
And that sometimes is very boring, sometimes very tedious, Is it, how do you go past that hurdle whereby it is that you know you can't just, now that you know, you can't just think about the house, you have to think about the other things. Would you say is the best way towards knowing all these things that you have to really have towards accomplishing 10 times what you have accomplished?
Right. Well, as you were bringing up the point you brought up before, whereby everyone should have a goal, it starts with that. Because if you don't have a goal, then there's nothing to visualize. All right. So you must have that goal first. And the goal must be something, you know, they have these SMART goals. It must be specific, must be measurable. It must have a grand effect on you. SMA, it must be realistic and achievable, all these different things. Right. So you must have a goal. However, when you visualize that goal, you don't just see the goal, you see yourself in the goal. You see yourself interacting with the goal, living with it, and being congruent with it. So that's another part. The third part to that is that you need to see yourself working toward the goal, going through. You need to first identify what is the process, the stage by stage, step by step process from where I currently am to where I need to go in order to achieve this goal. And you need to visualize yourself going through that process. I'll give you an example. Many times people love to watch a lot of motivational videos on YouTube. And in those motivational videos, some of them, it shows an entrepreneur who has been struggling for a period of time, who has been doing a number of things, trying to get things work, getting doors shut in his face, going through that process of like what Colonel Sanders would have gone through, knocking on so many doors and getting no's, until one day somebody says yes. Just as you have been looking at a program and a video like that, in the same way, when you visualize your success, you also must visualize yourself going through that process on a daily basis until you succeed. You must visualize yourself being able to take the no's, take the letdowns, take the disappointments, take the hits. You must see yourself getting that, recovering from it, refreshing yourself and getting back in the saddle and still pressing forward until you achieve your goal. If that is part of your visual activity, then it will be very easy for you to sit every day and get more done, because your brain will understand that this daily activity is part of a natural process to getting to where I want to be.
I love the way in which it is that you're laying out the path in which to get towards what you want. And I just want to open it up for anyone who has any questions. Everyone on this call, I'm sure they are working on some goal, right? They are working in some company that has expectations of them, and they want to know how to, increase their productivity, and they may be stuck in some way. Feel free to, again, unmute yourself, say who you are, and just give your question or put it in the chat. However it is that you want to get your question answered, because at the end of this program, we want to know it is that we have really given you information that you can apply in your workplace tomorrow and really start to see yourself increasing your productivity. So feel free to, again, I say, unmute yourself or put your question in the chat so that you can get your question answered. So give us some more information as to this whole thing. Take, for instance, executive. It's someone who is at the top level in their company. They have accomplished a lot, right? And they just feel stuck. They just feel as though it is, getting anywhere. But again, it is that the company has a lot of demands on them. So they are doing a lot, right? But it is that they are feeling stuck. What advice you have for them?
All right. Beside a strong emotional attachment to what their goals or whatever it is they're trying to achieve, despite having a solid visualization regime, I would also recommend, which is number 3, have good friends. choose your friends wisely. I'll tell you why. What you find in all areas of life is you'll find like birds of a feather flock together. And if someone, I know you spoke about the CEO, I'm going to come right back to that because this deals with him as well. But let me just dive straight into all the listeners here. If it is that you are on a journey, when you look at your friends, all of your friends that you have, it is very important that you should be the least of the bunch of all the friends that you have. In other words, all your friends should be better than you. All your friends should be further along the road of success and achievement than you. Their workload must be greater than yours. Because once that is so, what's going to happen naturally, organically, is that your productivity is going to increase and it's going to improve for you to stay relevant in those friendships. When you sit and you talk with them at certain points, whether it's at social gatherings, and everyone starts to talk about what they are able to achieve, you must feel that what you are able to share is worthy. And because of that, during your daily tasks, you will do as much as you can to be as successful as you can, to have something to share with your friends that would make you feel that level of connection with a group of successful people. What you find is that many people who are on a journey to success find themselves in the space of unproductive people, people who just aren't going anywhere or aren't going as fast as they would like to go, or just are on a totally different path that does not connect to the kind of daily regime, the daily regimen that is needed from that person. So I'm saying this to you, going back to the CEO. What you will find is that many CEOs, they are friends of other CEOs or other executives of other leading companies as well. And they don't just work for the same organization, they socialize together. And because they socialize together, they share in their meetings where they talk about life and their experiences. They talk a lot about their work and their productivity. And because of what they say they achieve every day, it creates a subtle level of pressure to do more, to be more. It creates competition. In addition to that, because I'm recommending that you be the least of the group and the others would be further along with you, further along the road than you, they can give you the tips, they can give you the suggestions, they can give you ideas, they can give you all of the different nuggets you're going to need on a daily basis to be able to do more in your 24-hour day space. The reason why they can do that is because they have been where you are. They have been there, they have done that, and they have gone through it and achieved. So as a result of that, they can give more to you, share more to you, encourage you. They know where to motivate you. They know what to ask you on a daily basis. Not just that, they can also point you to resources that you may not be aware of. They will point you to those resources that can give you the insights, give you every single tool that you need to do twice as much as you normally do every day. This is the power of having friends who are further along the road than you and friends who are highly progressive in their craft as well. So if an executive has friends who are in that field, it is very difficult for him to get demotivated. Or as you would say, stuck. Does that answer your question in some way?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Go ahead.
So continue with the steps towards increasing your productivity.
Okay. To increase your productivity, you need to say no. You need to learn to say no. Many times people come to you, it might be people in your home, might be people in your office, in your business. They will come with things that they can do. However, you do it so well, they prefer when you do it. you need to say no to those things. You have 8 hours every single day to do what you need to do generally, where work is concerned. And because you're so passionate about your goals, because you visualize them often, because you know you're going to have friends who are going to call you every week and say, hey, how are things going? Because of that, you cannot allow these other things that people are trying to throw on you to get in the way of your achievement for the week. In every war is not won by a group of people going out in a battlefield and fighting for one day and somebody declares a winner. It doesn't work that way. War is won in battles, little battles here, there, and everywhere. And you have to win a certain amount of battles in order to win your war. Every single week is a battle, because every single week, someone has something to give to you to slow you down. Whether it be someone in your home, whether it be your workplace, or even your business, something is going to come to slow you down. You have to make sure, in order to be able to be more productive at what you do, you have to make sure that whatever goals you set for the day, you achieve your goals first. And after you achieve your goals first, then you can now go and decide which of the other things that people needed help or all of the other requests that would have come of you. You have to now decide which of those requests are you going to tend to, only after you would have achieved what you wanted to achieve that day. And that should be the regimen for every single day. All right. Now, some people would say, but Kevin, that's heartless. Kevin, that's not kind. And to be honest, I am not saying to you, don't help people. I'm not saying that. However, what I'm saying to you is to put a priority or put a value on what it is you have to achieve. Some human beings generally across the board, we tend to put greater value on other people's activities than our own. And as a result, other people's activities get done and ours don't. So all I'm simply saying to everyone who's listening, when tomorrow morning comes and you start your day, be very clear about what it is you have to achieve. Get that done. And it may be useful, even if you know that other people are depending on you for help, actually sectionize a certain part of your day to help them, to give them the support they need, but ensure that your stuff gets done first before that, and then do that, and then make provisions for them. Okay, so that is number 4 so far. Should I go on to number 5, Lashley?
Yes, continue.
All right, number 5, it's very simple. All the others from here down are very, very simple things, and that is wake up early in the morning. Many people rise too late in the morning. I'll give you an example of what I do, and I recommend most people do that. Most people are, to some degree, religious. They believe in some spiritual being that is greater than them. I get up every single morning. If I get up, let's say for the latest, I will get up at 5 o'clock every single morning. Before my feet touch the ground, I do my prayers, I do my devotion. From there, I make my bed, I see about my room, I take 15, 20 minutes and see about the house. I get breakfast, I review my plan for the day. I check my emails. I go and I train for an hour, whether that be to run, walk, go to the gym, whatever it is, to keep myself in shape. And by 8 o'clock, I'm ready for work. When I'm ready for work, I have a list of things that I know exactly what it is I need to achieve today. I understand on my list, I know what is priority. And I didn't put this is further down, but I'm going to say it here. On that list was created the day before. So I'm not getting up that morning and trying to figure out, what do I do today? That list was created the day before, and it is sectioned, and I write 3 core things that I need to achieve. that is priority. And then I write 3 other things I want to achieve as well. So it's a list of 6 things. Now, there may be more things I can get done, but I just make sure that my list of that every single day is a success. So once I do 6 things and I achieve those 6 things, I know that I feel like a success at the end of the day. The question is, do I just do 6 things a day? No, I don't. Sometimes I would literally do 15 to 30 things a day. Sounds crazy. But the reality is that I know if I get these 6 core things done, then I am on track, then I'm a success. So I end my day feeling great about myself. The only way I am able to do that is because I started my day extremely early.
Let me just
Some
take
people,
a question
Sure.
in here, Kevin.
Sure.
So
Sure.
what about the person, I know you mentioned waking up early, but what about the person whose most productive hours are in the night? So they'll wake all night and can't get up early in the morning.
That's an interesting question. I'm going to step on a few toes here with this, all right? From a health standpoint, okay, from a health standpoint, a human being should get to bed, should be asleep by 10 o'clock in the night. When you look at what happens within the sleep cycles of the human being, I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but when you look at the different sleep cycles and the level of repair work that takes place in the brain and physically, mentally, physically throughout the course of the night, and how many of those cycles that are repeated over the period of the night, if a human being does not get that opportunity to go through that, they will not be 100% the next day. Whether they feel more productive in the night or not, they are starting the next day at less. What that means is that their cognitive ability has been significantly reduced for the next day simply because they didn't get as much sleep. Now, some people might be saying, but I'm achieving great things, staying up late at night. I am able to focus. I'm able to do so many different things. But here's the thing. They never considered what would have happened if they got to bed much earlier, got more sleep. They never considered just how much more they would have been able to achieve. So that's my response to that. But you have to get up early in the morning and get things done. There's something about the morning sunshine on your skin, that dose of vitamin D that creates the serotonin very early in the morning. It creates experiences within the chemical experiences within the body that does not happen at any other part of the day. Getting up early in the morning is a gem. I'm going to even take it even further. When you sit down and you listen to highly productive and highly successful people, what you have to look at is the common thread that runs between all of them. And one of the things that highlights the success of all of those people is waking very early in the morning. In fact, they get 30% of their work done before 8 o'clock in the morning. When I was a cyclist, that was many years ago, by the way, our coach used to call us at 4 o'clock in the morning. And by 4:30 in the morning, we were on our bicycles, heading all the way from the west, living in the West Diego Martin, heading all the way up to Piarco every single morning. We would train every single morning, come back, train for an hour to come back home and shower, eat, and get to work on time. And when international coaches came and they asked us, what time do we start training in a day? And we told them, they said, that's excellent. They told us we were on the road to success. Those things never change. It does not matter whether you're into sport, whether you're into business, whether you're in your career. If you could start your day earlier in the morning, you will get 10 times more done that way than if you start later. Because here's why. At that point in the morning, you have very limited distractions. You have nobody calling you on your phone. You have no television on. You have no one knocking at your door. That is a point in your day when you can just sit down and focus. In addition to that, it's a point where your brain is clear. It is at its freshest point. So if it is, so many people just get up at a later time in the day and just go through the motions of starting the day and they start sluggish and they miss out on this grand opportunity to maximize on their alertness, on the freshness of mind, and also on the peace that they can get in getting things done at that point in time. So that is why I'm recommending this. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thanks.
So Kevin, just want to leave a little time for any of our guests. And I'm seeing there's an Azaria Mohammed, T. Walters, Junior Cooper, Small, and Wade Rodruff. Anyone would like to ask any question of Mr. Thompson? Because again, it is that we want really and truly to know it is that this program is really providing value. And the only way we can know it's providing value is if we get some feedback from our viewers. So any of the viewers willing to unmute and ask any question or make any comment at this point in time? You can just say unmute. You don't need to clear your camera. You can just unmute and ask any question at this point in time. Right.
Yes, everybody understand it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Small here.
Yes. Hi. Hi.
Hi. I don't have a question, but I have to admit that what you're saying it's really true, because I'm now having a small business and it's difficult, and I wonder why or if I'm doing anything wrong, right? And I'm not really realizing that is my traits, right? Because I believe that alright, this person will say something, I'll try to do things to make sure that this person gets something, but it costs me a lot. So from what he's saying is like, I have a better perspective in my business plan, and as he said, learn to say no. So it has been, and what he's saying, it has been very encouraging. And within the learning next 5 points, I'm pretty sure it would enhance my business moving forward. So thanks.
And thank you very much for unmuting and sharing that that comment with us and how it's been helpful to you. We will not be able to go through the other 5 points on this session, but we certainly will bring back Kevin Thompson. And certainly I think it is that we would be having him quite some time, because it is that these questions will keep on coming up, and we need to get those answers to those questions, right? But
actually have to learn
that'll
to
be
say
so
no.
nice. Yeah, that do thing very hard, honestly.
Sorry, I can't say no to this one, Kevin. Right. So let me just want to make sure we get this question inside, right? Kevin, what is your vision of the future in light of the pandemic, and how you see productivity on a whole being affected?
The world has changed, and the opportunities that most people had before are not going to be available to them in the next year or two because of what is happening. The opportunities to build businesses in the way that we would like, to pursue careers, because organizations are now recognizing that because of the pandemic, we don't need to have staff in the way that we did before. We can outsource staff from anywhere in the world and get the same result or even greater results. What I would recommend in terms of productivity is for individuals to, as we implement what we got here today or any other program, stay tuned to LB Global Solutions programs because of the level of content that you guys are bringing. And in addition to that, connect with a mentor. Connect with a mentor who is in the specific field that you are in, who would have achieved what it is that you are looking to achieve, and who would be able to walk you through a new process with a clear understanding of where the world is going and how everything is going to be done. Let them guide you through the process, because almost everything that we know in the past will be changed.
So it's unfortunate that we have to wrap up, right? But certainly it is that we are very, very thankful for the information that you have shared with us here today, Kevin. But before it is that we wrap up, Chrissy, if it is that you could just give some information as to the community and what it is that we at LB Global Solutions is doing at this point in time.
Okay, great. So guys, first of all, there are so many ways that you all can engage with us. You can follow us on Facebook. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you could also email us or communicate with us. I have just placed the links to all these handles in the chat, so you can take note of that. Some exciting news. So, as I mentioned in the last session, we have recently launched our LB Global Solutions Wealth Trendsetters Community Facebook group. So this is a community that was developed as a platform and networking, providing the tools and support you need to achieve financial wellness and a peace of mind. This is the powerhouse of LB Global Solutions, and it promises to bring so many amazing benefits for you, as our wealth building program has a number of activities and content to help you achieve financial freedom. So we want to encourage all of you to get on board today. Let's start our wealth building journey together. The link is also in the chat, so you can go to the chat, take a note of the link to join the community, Trendsetters community. Also, what I would like to let you know as well is, going forward, LB Global Solutions would like to encourage and motivate persons who are starting off businesses or who has small businesses. What we're going to do from our next show, we're going to have a 1-minute spot so you can advertise your business. Okay, so if you're interested in this 1-minute spot, you can take the link to our email and email us and communicate, and we'll take it from there. So back over to you, Lashley.
All right. Yes, that's very exciting news. It's a small, as you talked about having your business there, what you can do, you can shoot a 1-minute video and send it to us, right? So that we can look at it, give some pointers and have you possibly on the next program that we're having, right? And anyone else who have a small business and want to, advertise, send us a video, send us some information, right? And we'll see how we can put you in, because we all about really and truly building generational wealth. And it's only
just to add, Lashley, it will also be, our program is also live stream on YouTube. So yes, this will give you the opportunity to have your business featured also on YouTube. So feel free to contact us.
Oh, exactly. Right. So heading back to Kevin. Kevin, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Right. So Kevin, if it is that you could just give us your closing words.
I just want to thank everyone for being here on the program. Thank you, Lashley, for inviting me. 10 times your productivity is a good goal to have, but I'm just very quickly saying, before you get to 10 times, try and double your productivity first. Set goals that are achievable for yourself. Double your look at what it is you get done on a daily basis. Make sure and write that down. And then now put measures and strategies in place to double that first. When you're able to achieve that consistently, then try and double that again. Start there, and I guess we'll meet again on LB Global Solutions. Have a great one, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you very much. And in closing, we want to remind you that the deepest fear, is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. So, but we want to ensure that from this program, the Ask Why program, that we help reduce your fears. We help you to really get that motivation, that inspiration, that fire in your belly, so that you can go out and accomplish that which you want for yourself and for your family. So this is the Ask Why program, and we are saying, believe in yourself, because we believe in you, and you ought to believe in you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Hey, thanks.
Welcome.
Most welcome.